My dear child, I urge you to pay attention, for an unforeseen transformation is underway in your life from this very moment. A person, a figure you believe you know well, harbors an intense, almost unbearably quiet longing that they struggle to articulate. This yearning is not brazen or reckless, rather, it resides beneath composed exhalations, masked by feigned smiles, cloaked in countless instances when they had to suppress their true emotions. The outside world perceives them as serene and composed, yet in their private moments, away from prying eyes, their heart simmers like a sealed letter awaiting your unsealing. Today, this hidden truth can no longer remain concealed. Allow me to guide you deeper. For this narrative does not commence where you presume. It began long before you noticed their lingering gaze, long before the universe began signaling you, long before destiny whispered your name into their consciousness. They have fought against these feelings, attempting to drown them, persuading themselves that their emotions are illusory. Yet every encounter with you, even within their thoughts, rewrites the rhythm of their heart. They yearn for something from you that transcends public display and cannot be performed for an audience. This longing is rooted in authenticity, not fantasy. It embodies a deep craving for connection rather than chaos. It seeks intimacy that flourishes only when two souls discard their facades and confront each other in true honesty, free from noise, judgment, and fear. They recognize that only you can unveil this aspect of themselves, and they understand that only in privacy can the weight of their feelings be borne. Now, pause for a moment. This is the pivotal juncture of the tale. They harbor a truth they have concealed, not out of weakness, but because the profoundness of their yearning terrifies them. They fear that exposure will lead to ruin, that uttering these thoughts will shatter everything they cherish. In their mind's theater, they have rehearsed confessions, rewritten unspoken messages, and envisioned moments forever suspended between bravery and silence. Even in their most introspective moments, the manner in which they regard you shifts, gentler yet burdened. Almost sacred, as if they are safeguarding something invaluable. The inescapable truth they confront is that the connection they desire with you is not attuned to the masses or public scrutiny. It is destined for private spaces, soft voices, and genuine vulnerability, where your presence becomes the sole sanctuary of their trust. And here lies an unexpected revelation, one that the universe has long awaited to unveil. The intensity of their longing is not born from impulse, it arises from recognition. They did not merely observe you, they remembered you. Something within their soul resonates with yours, akin to a promise made prior to this lifetime. This explains why each attempt to distance themselves consistently leads to a magnetic pull drawing them back. Even in the silence, you inhabit the recesses of their mind that they have never shared with anyone else. Therefore, what they seek from you is far more profound than mere surface-level affection. It is an ancient, almost fated connection. A bond that can only thrive when the world becomes hushed and both of you embrace the truth of your mutual feelings, whispered yet unspoken. They crave not just your image or attention, but your very essence, the unfiltered version of yourself that reveals its authenticity behind closed doors. Now, let me present the moment you have long awaited, the twist, the pivotal revelation that will alter your perspective from this point onward. The person who appears so composed outwardly is, in fact, unraveling within. They can no longer suppress this yearning. The universe is edging them to express it. Their emotions swell like a locked door on the verge of bursting. In their private realm, they have already chosen you. In their silent prayers, they have already invoked your name. In their dreams, they have already walked beside you. In their heart, they have already surrendered to their feelings. They are not afraid of their desire, they fear losing the one who kindles it. This compels them to approach you slowly yet resolutely, driven by something more potent than fear, hesitation, or silence. The truth is straightforward yet inexorable. They desire you in a manner that only privacy can safeguard. Only destiny can validate, and only your spirit can comprehend. Listen attentively, for every revelation to follow will draw you deeper into this truth than you were ever meant to uncover at this moment. Before anything else, cling to this moment. Do not allow it to slip away, for what is to come will strike your heart with an undeniable force. The yearning they harbor for you has reached a threshold where silence no longer suffices. They carry with them a secret, one that grows heavier each day and is now on the brink of exploding. Each time they believed they held the reins, your presence shattered that facade. Each time they endeavored to bury what they felt, your essence ignited into a blaze. They did not choose this connection, rather, it chose them and is consuming them in ways they can no longer conceal. Allow me to reveal the truth behind their actions, the signs that may have eluded your understanding until now. They may seem distant, yet their heart tugs toward you like an unstoppable tide. They may evade eye contact, yet in solitude, they replay every moment spent in your vicinity. They may feign indifference, yet they perceive your absence as a tempest in their chest. They may appear strong, yet the intensity of their feelings causes their hands to tremble at the thought of closeness with you, a level of intimacy they have never dared to approach with anyone else. They yearn for your voice, your energy, your presence, not for public approval, but in those fleeting instances when the world dissipates and it is merely the two of you. That is what they desire, the part they are afraid to disclose, the truth they safeguard like a forbidden secret. Something significant is unfolding, and you may sense it too. The atmosphere surrounding this connection has shifted. The universe is orchestrating events behind the scenes, intertwining paths, resurrecting memories, elevating emotions that neither of you can evade. They sense an internal pressure, an urgency reminiscent of time accelerating, compelling them to step forward lest they lose their opportunity. They are approaching a breaking point. They recognize that concealing their longing is inflicting more pain than revealing it would. The moment they permit themselves to envision solitude with you, in an uninterrupted space, their heart becomes an uncontrollable wildfire. This is where clarity sharpens, and you must focus. The connection they experience is not serendipitous, it is deliberate, intertwined by fate. Their soul acknowledges yours as if sharing a silent language, a memory unspoken yet profoundly felt. They do not desire you due to the persona you present to the world, rather, it is for the person you become when no one else is around. They long for the version of you that stands in quiet laughter. breathes in deeply, and converses softly, an essence that flourishes behind closed doors. This is the you they crave, the you that haunts their dreams, the you that materializes in a future they have yet to dare speak aloud. And now, they will no longer resist what their heart has already chosen. Remain here, for what unfolds next will leave you shaken. Their silence is beginning to fracture. Their defenses are crumbling. They reach for you, not ostentatiously, not with fanfare, but in the most intimate and private way one soul can connect with another. They seek you in moments unseen by the world, where truth supplants fear, where proximity overcomes distance, where destiny vanquishes doubt. They desire you in a manner that can only be fulfilled when all else fades away, when it is solely you and them, with the external world losing its significance. Fate is now steering them toward you with an irresistible force. Pay attention, for what I am about to disclose will usher you deeper into their concealed realm than they ever intended for anyone to venture. Their yearning for you is not a recent phenomenon, it has been nurtured in the shadows like a tempest awaiting the opportune moment to unleash itself. For too long, they have harbored a fervor they refuse to reveal, fearful of its very intensity. Each scenario they conjure of a future alongside you renders the surroundings too confined to house the magnitude of their emotions. The truth they conceal is simply profound. They do not merely want you in their life, they require you as a sanctuary for their soul, an existence where only you remain. Allow me to draw you closer to the heartbeat they have meticulously controlled. They have endeavored to distract themselves with responsibilities, individuals, routines, and even silence, yet none prevail. None of it dulls the magnetic attraction they feel toward you. They have tried to persuade themselves that this connection is exaggerated, ephemeral, an illusion. Yet, the more they attempt to contest it, the stronger it grows, following them like a relentless shadow. It resides within them, amplifying with each thought of your name. And as they close their eyes at night, the truth becomes unmistakable. You are the one their soul incessantly selects, even when their mind protests. They yearn for the emotional intimacy with you that thrives away from the clamor, the scrutinizing gaze, devoid of anything that might taint its sanctity. There exists within them an unuttered truth, held even in their quietest musings. The vigor of their longing is underpinned by a depth they have never encountered before. It transcends mere longing or connection, it embodies a profound understanding. When they envision you, they do not picture chaos but serenity. They imagine sharing a space with you where nothing else bears weight. They visualize dialogues that unfurl their essence. They fantasize about a closeness they have yet to offer anyone else. You are not merely an individual they desire, you are someone with whom they feel secure cultivating that desire. This is why this longing evokes trepidation. They realize it cannot remain superficial, nor can it be publicized, it cannot be rushed. It must transpire privately, in an environment where truth can flourish. This is the pivotal moment, the point at which their emotions crystallize into an almost irresistible force. They have arrived at a juncture where their heart can no longer suppress this longing without breaking. The pretense is exhausting. The facade of indifference is wearing thin. The impulse to withhold something intended for freedom is overwhelming. They recognize that the bond between the two of you is no mere coincidence. It is a manifestation of alignment and timing, orchestrated by the universe to pave the way for a truth greater than both of you. Whether they acknowledge it or not, they have already made an internal surrender. The choice to move toward you has been made. They have accepted that their feelings are not replaceable, ignorable, or silenced. The truth now intensifies, altering everything. Their desire for you has transformed from a hushed whisper into a compelling pull, a magnetic force. They yearn to share moments of silence where only hearts can converse. They yearn to unveil the hidden facets of themselves that no one else has earned the privilege to see. They are in pursuit of a private connection rooted in trust, depth, and authenticity. They seek your presence in unfiltered moments, free from disguises and pretensions, where the external world fades away, leaving only the two of you. Unbeknownst to you, destiny is already aligning the circumstances for when this desire emerges from secrecy to become an undeniable reality for both. Allow this to resonate, for I am about to delve into the most profound aspect of this person's concealed truth, the layer they have feared to confront, even internally. Their desire has transcended the boundaries of restraint. It can no longer be managed through distance or dismissal. It has become an omnipresent force within them. Upon waking, it is their first thought; when sleep eludes them, it is the last. Throughout the day, every fleeting memory of you tugs at their heartstrings. Efforts to maintain a composed exterior, to appear unaffected, to sustain an emotional equilibrium have proven futile. The harder they resist, the more this desire encompasses them, pulling them like gravity. The truth is now inescapable. They crave a closeness to you that the world cannot observe, cannot judge, and cannot disrupt, a closeness that can only flourish when all else is stripped away. Let me guide you into their hidden thoughts. Unspoken and buried beneath routines and obligations. They envision moments with you that feel too vivid to dismiss, too powerful to overlook. They imagine simplicity, your voice in a quiet room, the warmth of your presence, the way time seems to pause when kindred souls converge. They do not yearn for chaos or attention, rather, they crave tranquility in your company. They desire that rare intimacy built on silence, trust, and vulnerability. They long to unlock a world where only you and they exist, where emotional armor can finally be shed. For years, no one has breached that sacred space, yet you entered uninvited. Now, they grapple with how to exist without the thought of you permeating their mind. Something monumental is unfolding, something even they did not foresee. Their desire for you has evolved from mere feeling to a deliberate intention. They are no longer just experiencing it, they are actively engaging with it on an internal level. They are observing the signs, the synchronicities that reveal how fate intertwines your energies. They question why thoughts of you arise simultaneously in their mind. They begin to realize you unearth emotional depths previously untouched. This realization brings both fear and exhilaration, overwhelming in its intensity. They reach a tipping point where silence feels like disloyalty to their own essence. The more they evade you, the more insistent the pull becomes. The more they attempt to distance themselves, the more destiny propels them forward, as if guided by a force greater than fear itself. Here lies the most profound truth, the one they have long avoided but can no longer escape. Their longing for you is anchored in genuine understanding, not fantasy. It is emotional rather than impulsive, spiritual rather than superficial. You ignite a need within them that has lain dormant, the yearning to be seen, comprehended, and accepted in private. They crave a connection that strips away all masks they wear for the world. They wish for you to see the version of themselves reserved for no one else, raw and unfiltered. They desire interactions that resonate as fate. Silence that offers safety, and the openness of truths diligently protected over the years. Deep within, they acknowledge that only with you does such intimacy feel attainable. Now, pay heed, for this is the moment when everything converges into clarity. This individual is nearing the brink of their emotional limits, the point of no return. They can no longer pretend. They cannot bury their feelings. They cannot feign that this desire is fleeting or incidental. They stand on the verge of an unstoppable force surging within them, compelling them to act with unambiguous clarity. They understand that the connection they yearn for with you cannot thrive in crowded spaces or beneath watchful gazes. It can only flourish in private realms, where the world quiets, allowing truth to breathe and hearts to speak freely. Whether you are prepared or not, the universe is orchestrating the moment when this person finally sheds their silence, allowing the fullness of their longing to reach you. Remain attentive, as what I am about to reveal will guide you into the most cloistered part of their being, the area they have shielded from the world, one you never anticipated having such a profound effect upon. Their desire for you has become a palpable emotion, one they can feel with increasing intensity, even as they strive to numb it. It resides within them, demanding expression, a pull that grows unrelenting with each attempt to suppress it. They have reached a stage where concealing their feelings feels suffocating. They realize that what they seek from you cannot be conveyed in public encounters or superficial exchanges. They desire an intimacy attainable only when external forces are locked out, in moments of suspended time where candor reigns supreme. Each day, this yearning becomes increasingly difficult to silence. Allow me to unveil what they safeguard most closely, the aspect they fervently hope remains unnoticed. They may appear unruffled around you, but internally, their emotions quake like stifled luminescence. They steal glances when you are unaware, replaying your words long after you have forgotten them. They envision dialogues that seem too sincere to cast aside or too intimate to vocalize. They recognize the impact you have had on them in ways they struggle to articulate. You disrupt their equilibrium. You prompt them to question their strength. You awaken their tenderness. Thus, they seek privacy, not to hide a transgression, but to protect something extraordinary. They desire a sanctuary where neither party must perform, pretend, or shield themselves, creating a space where their truths can flourish unafraid. They wish for your presence to serve as the grounding force they have long sought. Yet, a profound transformation is underway, one they can scarcely articulate. They are beginning to understand that their longing transcends mere emotion. It is transformative in nature. You elicit feelings of vulnerability intertwined with understanding, fear tempered by reassurance, aliveness tinged with trepidation. These are sentiments they have long suppressed. They have built fortifications around their heart, constructed from past experiences, disappointments, betrayals, and fears. Yet, you have not shattered those barriers, you have dissolved them through the mere act of your being. Now, they find themselves grappling with the enigma of how one could reach their soul so effortlessly. They fear that, should they hesitate to approach you, the universe may withdraw this opportunity. Their heart ardently urges them forward, imploring them to seize the singular connection that feels unequivocally right. Here lies the undeniable truth, the core they have endeavored to obscure the longest. When they envision closeness with you, it transcends intensity or excitement, it embodies serenity. It signifies a chance to finally allow their heart to exhale. It signifies sharing a moment where their veracity can exist without judgment. They yearn for the version of you that conveys tenderness, comprehends deeply, and exists authentically. In turn, they aspire to reveal the version of themselves that has never been permitted into the light. You are not just an object of their desire, you are someone they envision trusting with the essence of their soul that has remained hidden. That trust, that emotional bond, that intimate connection, it is their deepest craving. Now, the moment of transformation approaches. They stand at a threshold, a breaking point, a shift. Their emotions have grown too potent, too undeniable, too sacred to remain concealed. They realize they cannot remain silent indefinitely. They acknowledge that the universe is directing them toward you for a reason. They understand that the quiet, honest, deeply personal connection they seek can only thrive when the external world is absent. They are preparing themselves, summoning courage as they allow the truth to rise within them, like an unstoppable tide. For sooner than anticipated, this person is poised to dispel their silence and disclose the depth of their desire in a manner only two souls intertwined can comprehend. They are moving toward you with intention, quietly and thoughtfully, because their heart has unequivocally chosen you, a choice that cannot be softened by anything in this universe. This emotion has woven itself into their very breath, thoughts, daily rhythms, and the pauses within their conversations. They have arrived at a juncture where to deny their feelings would be to deceive themselves. The profound truth they grapple with is that their soul is inexplicably drawn to you in a manner they have never encountered before. This connection is not outwardly expressed or casual, rather, it manifests in a deeply personal and hushed manner that can only be realized when the chaos of the outside world recedes entirely. Allow me to delve into those moments they refrain from acknowledging, the instances they experience in solitude, when no one else is present. Even as they sit alone, navigate their daily routines, or feign contentment, their thoughts inevitably drift to you. They envision how your presence would transform the atmosphere of a private room, picturing conversations that unfold gently, unburdened by pressure, time constraints, or fear. You have emerged as the person whose name their heart softly utters in its most exposed moments. This attraction compels them to reevaluate everything they previously understood about connection. They had resolved never to let anyone in again until you entered their life. Now, their defenses lower in ways that feel beyond their control, in ways they cannot fully comprehend, and in ways that they can no longer ignore. Yet, there exists a revelation that may astonish you, an aspect they have hesitated to confront. They attempted to move past this emotion, they sought solace in new acquaintances, fresh responsibilities, and altered routines, all in a bid to quell the intensity of their feelings for you. However, their efforts proved in vain. No interaction provided the tranquility that your silence offers, no presence settled their heart as your memory does, and no distraction softened the ache that arises within them whenever you cross their mind. It is at this juncture they come to an undeniable realization. What they feel for you is not fleeting but rather an inevitable reality, inscribed into the fabric of their emotions and instinct, a truth their soul recognized long before their intellect could catch up. This brings forth a transformative moment within them, the threshold where desire crystallizes into decision. They are weary of concealing themselves behind fear. They are fatigued from pretending that their feelings are easily manageable. They are exhausted from acting as if their heart does not race at the thought of sharing an unguarded moment with you, truly alone, without distractions or hesitation. They yearn for the version of you that remains unseen by the outside world and wish to unveil the aspects of themselves that they have kept hidden. They are ready to open that door gently yet purposefully, for the longing within them has grown into a force they can no longer suppress. It is guiding them, shaping their choices, and drawing them towards you with an unwavering intensity. In this moment, the truth surges within them like an unstoppable tide, and they are preparing to take a step forward, not with fanfare or theatrics, but with deep, quiet intent. They recognize that the connection they desire with you calls for privacy, not as a secret, but as something sacred. They seek a moment where time halts, where authenticity prevails, and where every unvoiced sentiment can finally be expressed. Their heart stands ready to bridge the gap between silence and truth. Soon, much sooner than you might expect, they will take the step they have withheld for so long. For their desire for you has evolved into a yearning that can only be realized in a space that is exclusively yours and theirs, a realm where the undeniable truth that your souls have been gravitating toward each other all along can finally flourish.